All right, let's jump right in. We're doing a deep dive today into this awesome guide about getting your ankles moving better and feeling better too. And it's all through some like really specific movements and techniques.
Right.
So this is for you if you're dealing with like some nagging ankle pain, or even if you're just kind of curious about how to, you know, move more freely.
Absolutely.
What I think is really interesting, you know, this guide starts by focusing on something that a lot of people don't even consider.
Right.
And that's the connection between tight calves and ankle issues.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Yeah, so it's a crucial link, really.
Yeah, how so? I mean, how does having like tight calves actually translate into ankle problems?
Well, you know, we aim for those 10,000 steps a day.
Right.
Each one of those steps is placing a load on your calf muscles.
Okay.
So that's 5,000 loads per calf
Wow.
every single day.
Yeah.
And over time,
Yeah.
all that strain can lead to some seriously tight calves, especially if you're not, you know, really paying attention to good foot positioning.
5,000 loads.
Right.
That is a lot.
It is.
So it's starting to make sense why my calves feel like they're made of concrete sometimes.
Yeah, it's a common problem.
So, but how do those tight calves actually impact our ankles?
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Like a door with a jammed hinge.
Mm-hmm.
If that hinge is stuck, the door can't open properly, right?
Right.
So similarly, when your calves are too tight, they restrict your ankle's range of motion.
Uh-huh.
And that limited mobility can actually have like a ripple effect
Oh, wow.
throughout your whole body.
So it's not just about the ankle itself,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
how that restriction can impact everything else.
Exactly. You might start compensating by walking with your feet turned out,
Right.
which puts extra stress on your knees.
Yeah.
Or you might have trouble squatting properly because your ankles can't flex enough.
Right.
And all those little compensations can eventually lead to pain and even injuries in other parts of your body.
So good foot positioning and ankle mobility are basically the foundation
Totally.
for good movement overall.
It all starts there.
Got it. So, okay.
Yeah.
Let's get back to those tight calves for a second.
Sure.
This guide talks about something called calf smashing
Yes.
as a way to kind of release that tension. It sounds pretty intense.
It can be,
Yeah.
but it's incredibly effective.
Okay.
Calf smashing basically involves using pressure to release those tight spots in your calf muscles.
Right.
You can use a foam roller, a barbell,
Okay.
even a partner can help.
Oh, wow.
There are a few variations,
Yeah, like what?
like the roller calf smash, which is a good one for beginners.
Okay.
Super friend roller calf smash, where a partner helps apply pressure.
Right.
And the bone saw calf smash, which is a bit more
That's
advanced.
my calf smash.
Yeah.
Now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
That sounds a little hardcore.
It's not as scary as it sounds.
Okay.
It involves positioning your shin over a foam roller, and then you use your body weight to apply pressure.
Okay.
Imagine like you're sawing a log back and forth.
Uh-huh.
You're going for that kind of motion.
I see.
You can really target specific areas of the calf muscle with this one.
Okay. So you're using your body weight in that sawing motion to really like get deep into those muscle knots.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the great thing is you can adjust the intensity based on your own pain tolerance.
Right. Right.
You know, find what works for you.
Okay. So we've tackled the calves,
We have.
but the guide also mentions that sometimes ankle issues can actually come from other areas besides the calves.
That's right. It's not always just about the calves.
Can you tell me more about that?
So restrictions in the fascia around your ankle can also be a major culprit.
Oh, the fascia?
Yeah.
You mean that connective tissue that's kind of like cling wrap for our muscles?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
And you wouldn't believe how much it can impact your ankle mobility if it gets tight or restricted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how do we loosen up that fascia more smashing?
This is where the ball whack technique comes in.
Ball whack.
Ball whack.
You're going to have to explain that one.
It's simpler than it sounds.
Okay.
You basically use a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball
Uh-huh.
to apply pressure to specific points around the ankle.
Okay.
And yes, you're actually whacking it against those points.
Okay. So
I know it might sound strange,
it sounds a little intense.
but it's a really effective way to break up those adhesions in the fascia and get things moving more freely.
Wait. Yeah.
You're telling me that whacking my ankle with a ball
Uh-huh.
can actually help it move better?
You might be skeptical, but trust me, it works.
Okay.
The impact from the whacking actually helps to restore the normal gliding motion between your skin and the underlying tissues.
Interesting.
It's like giving your ankle a wake-up call.
Okay, so it's not just brute force.
No.
It's about like stimulating those tissues and reminding them how to move properly.
Exactly.
This guide is full of surprises.
There's a lot to unpack.
What about the bony parts of the ankle? Yeah.
I mean, the guide mentions mobilizing something called the lateral malleolus.
You're catching on quickly.
Okay, so...
Remember that door jam analogy we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
The lateral malleolus?
Mm-hmm.
That bony bump on the outside of your ankle?
Yeah.
It can act like a door jam if it's not moving properly.
Okay.
It can restrict your ankle's ability to, like, flex upward.
So we need to unjam that bony door jam.
Exactly.
To get our ankles moving better.
You got it.
Okay.
And guess what?
What?
We're back to using those balls again.
All right, so the balls are back.
They are.
Okay.
This time, we use them to target specific points around the lateral malleolus.
Okay.
And that helps restore its natural range of motion.
So I'm sensing a theme here. Balls are our friends.
They are very helpful.
When it comes to ankle mobility.
Absolutely.
What about the medial heel? The guide mentions that too.
Yeah.
What's the importance of mobilizing that area?
Well, if you've ever struggled with flat feet or like difficulty maintaining a stable arch, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The muscles and tissues around your medial heel play a key role in supporting your arch.
So you're telling me that by mobilizing the medial heel,
Yeah.
we can actually improve our arch support.
It can make a big difference.
That's huge.
The guide has a great cue for thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
Screw your feet into the ground.
Screwing your feet into the ground, what does that even mean?
It's a helpful way to visualize creating a stable arch. It's like you're trying to rotate your feet outward without actually moving them.
Right.
And the mobilizations for the medial heel help you activate those muscles and create that feeling of stability.
Wow. So we've covered calf smashing, ball whacking, and now targeted mobilizations for both the lateral malleolus and the medial heel.
That's a lot.
It is a lot of techniques.
Yeah.
Is there anything else this guide has up its sleeve?
Actually, there's one more technique,
Okay.
and I think you'll find it particularly interesting.
All right.
It's called ankle voodoo.
Ankle voodoo.
Ankle voodoo.
Okay, now I'm really curious.
Yeah.
What in the world is that?
Well, we can unpack that
Okay.
in the next part of our deep dive.
I'm on the edge of my seat already. Let's get to it.
All right, so let's unpack this whole ankle voodoo thing.
Okay.
It's also known as voodoo flossing, and it's becoming pretty popular for dealing with both ankle pain and stiffness.
So how does it actually work? Walk me through it.
It's surprisingly straightforward.
Okay.
You basically wrap a band, usually like a latex resistance band, around the area of your ankle that's bothering you. You start near your toes
Okay.
and wrap it up towards your calf.
How tight are we talking here?
The guide recommends about 50% tension if you're trying to reduce swelling.
Okay.
But if you're mainly focusing on improving mobility, you can crank it up to about 75%.
So the tension depends on what you're trying to achieve. Got it.
Exactly.
So what happens next? Do you just walk around with the band on?
Not quite.
Okay.
Once the band is on, you start moving your ankle through different ranges of motion.
Oh.
Flexing, pointing, rotating. You're basically putting those restricted areas through their paces.
So it's like a supercharged ankle workout with the band acting as resistance.
Exactly. It's like giving your ankle some external support while it works through those sticky spots.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
What's the science behind it? Like, how does wrapping a band around your ankle and moving it around actually help?
Well, there's a couple things going on.
Oh.
First, the compression from the band helps to restrict blood flow to the area,
Right.
which can help bring down swelling.
Uh-huh.
Then, when you move your ankle, fresh blood rushes back in,
Okay.
bringing nutrients and oxygen to those tissues.
So it's like a mini flush for your ankle?
Exactly.
That makes sense.
But there's more to it than just the circulation boost.
Okay.
The band also creates something called a shearing force.
A shearing force.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, like, pull my leg off with this band, are you?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Imagine you're trying to slide two pieces of fabric past each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's similar to what's happening with the band and your ankle tissues.
Mm-hmm.
The shearing force helps break up any adhesions that are limiting your movement and gets those tissues gliding smoothly again.
So we're combining compression, movement, and the shearing force to essentially give our ankles a deep tissue massage.
You got it.
This is pretty ingenious.
And one of the best things about ankle voodoo is you can target specific areas.
Oh.
So if your calf is feeling tight,
Yeah.
you can focus the band there.
Right.
If it's your Achilles tendon that's acting up, you can wrap it accordingly.
So it's super customizable.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
You mentioned earlier that the guide suggests combining this with other techniques, right?
Right, you can do the banded heel cord mobilizations.
Yeah.
You can even use it while you're doing other exercises like calf stretches or squats.
Wow.
It's all about finding ways to integrate these techniques into your normal routine.
This is really cool. I'm definitely going to have to try this ankle voodoo thing out.
It's worth a shot.
Are there any precautions I should know about before I wrap my ankle in a band and start flailing around?
That's a smart question.
Yeah.
Like with any new exercise or technique,
right,
it's crucial to listen to your body and stop if you feel any sharp pain.
Of course, of course.
And the guide emphasizes not wrapping the band too tightly.
Okay.
You don't want to restrict blood flow too much.
I'm all for pushing boundaries. But cutting off circulation is not on my to-do list.
Definitely not.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
No.
Calf smashing, ball whacking.
Yeah.
And now this fascinating ankle voodoo.
Right.
What stands out to you about this guide? Why do you think it's so effective?
I think it's the holistic approach.
Yeah.
It's not just about masking the pain.
Right.
It's about getting to the root of the problem. By restoring natural movement patterns and, improving the health of those tissues.
So it's not just a Band-Aid solution.
Yeah.
It's about empowering people to take charge of their own bodies.
Exactly. And these techniques are simple enough to do at home.
Yeah.
But they're powerful enough to make a real difference.
It's amazing to realize that we can actually improve our own movement,
Yeah.
even in areas that we might have thought were beyond our control,
I agree. And that's what this deep dive is all about.
Yeah.
Showing you that you have the power to improve your health and well-being through movement.
Well said.
Thank you.
Let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about the bigger picture here.
All right.
Beyond just being able to, walk without pain, what does it really mean to have healthy mobile ankles? Why should we care so much about this?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to move with ease. Walking, running, jumping, even just standing without any limitations in your ankles.
Right.
What would that feel like?
I'm picturing myself floating through life, light on my feet.
I love that.
Yeah.
But seriously, think about all the things we do every day that rely on ankle mobility.
Right.
Walking, running, dancing.
Right.
Playing sports, even just going up and down stairs.
Yeah.
When your ankles are restricted, it affects your ability to do all of those things safely and effectively.
So it's not just about performance.
No.
It's about preventing injuries too, right?
Absolutely. When your ankles can't move freely, your body has to compensate in other areas.
Okay.
Which puts extra stress on your knees, hips,
Right.
even your back. This can lead to pain, inflammation,
Right.
and eventually injuries.
So by addressing ankle mobility,
Yeah.
we're not just improving one joint, we're potentially protecting our whole body from future problems.
Exactly. Think of it like building a house.
Okay.
A strong foundation supports the entire structure
Right.
and prevents cracks and instability from developing.
That's a great analogy.
It really highlights how interconnected our bodies are.
Yeah.
And how important it is to address those seemingly small issues before they turn into big problems.
I couldn't agree more.
And that's what makes this guide so valuable.
Yeah.
It's a roadmap for building lasting mobility and resilience in your ankles.
Right.
Which can have positive effects throughout your whole body.
It's we're not just treating the symptom.
Right.
We're actually investing in the long-term health of our bodies.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this guide so unique. It's not just about quick fixes. It's about understanding how to create lasting change.
We often think of ankle mobility as something that athletes need to worry about or dancers, but it's really essential for everyone.
Absolutely. Whether you're a marathon runner
Yeah.
or just trying to keep up with your kids at the park.
Right.
Having good ankle mobility can make a world of difference in how you move and how you feel.
So we've talked about a lot of specific techniques here,
We have.
but if you had to boil it all down, what's the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I'd say ankle health isn't just about stretching your calves.
Okay.
It's about restoring that natural gliding motion between tissues, improving the way your ankle joint moves,
Right.
and building strength and stability in your entire lower leg.
So it's about taking a holistic approach,
Yeah.
looking at the bigger picture, not just treating the ankle in isolation.
Exactly. And I think this guide gives you the tools to do just that.
I'm so glad we did this deep dive.
Me too.
It's given me a whole new perspective on ankle health and the power of these simple but effective techniques.
But it can make a big difference.
And I hope our listeners feel empowered to, try these techniques out for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
What really struck me is that idea of unlocking what's possible with healthy ankles.
Yeah.
It's not just about fixing a problem.
Right.
It's about opening up a whole new world of movement and possibilities.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
What could you do if your ankles move freely and without pain,
Yeah.
what would that unlock for you?
It makes you realize that taking care of our bodies, even in like seemingly small ways, like improving ankle mobility,
All right.
can have a ripple effect on our entire lives.
Absolutely. And it's never too late to start.
Well, on that inspiring note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the world of ankle health.
It's been great being here.
I want to thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure diving deep with you.
Likewise.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
We hope you feel inspired to take control of your ankle health and explore these techniques for yourself.
Absolutely.
Remember, healthy movement is within your reach. All it takes is a little knowledge,
That's right.
a little effort,
Uh-huh.
and a willingness to try something new.
You got it.